Hello students. Today we will discuss about levers and their classes, and we will discuss about few numeric problems related to levers. So what is a lever? If you try to define a lever, according to the definition, a lever is a long rigid bar or a rod which is free to move about a point or a pivot point, or we can call it fulcrum. So actually if we try to simplify this definition, when we talk about a lever, a rod which is free to move about or rotate about a point, that point is called fulcrum or F, and on its one end we can apply effort or we can apply some kind of input force. A lever is a device which is transforming your input force into some kind of mechanical work done. So basically it is a device which is transforming input energy or input work into some kind of output work done. So the point at which we are applying effort, that point is simply represented by capital E, or the value of effort is represented by capital E, and the point at which we are applying load or we are putting the load, that at that point you will represent the load value by capital L. The distance from the fulcrum to the effort, keep this thing in your mind that all distances in the case of lever, all distances will be measured from the fulcrum. So the distance from the effort point to fulcrum is simply called effort arm, and the distance from the load point to the fulcrum is simply called the load arm, represented by LA, and effort arm will be represented by EA. So this is the lever. If we try to explain it more, so let's take an example. If we take an example of seesaw, there are two students on the seesaw. So basically it is free to rotate about a point, that point is called fulcrum, and if you are trying to balance a boy which is heavier than you, so ultimately either you will change your position or another student will help you, another lighter student will help you by sitting together with you. Actually in that case you are trying to put an effort E on its one end, and this strand is being treated as a load, capital L. So the distance from you to the fulcrum is simply called the effort arm, and the distance of that strand from the fulcrum is called load arm. So this is an example of a lever. This seesaw is an example of a lever. Another example, if we talk, the crowbar. You must have seen a crowbar, or let me tell you a simplest experiment in which, suppose you are having a very heavy table or box at your home, and you just want to lift it up. So your elders, they do a very simple technique, that they simply put a rod, an iron rod or a very strong wooden rod just below the box, and with the help of a brick they are trying to lift it up. So basically what is happening there, we can say this is the rod and they have placed a brick. So about this brick, this rod is free to rotate. So this brick will be treated as a fulcrum or pivot point. This point at which the box weight is acting downward, so we call it load point, and the box weight will be called the load, the weight of the box. And we are applying efforts on its another end. This end, the other end, this end will be called the effort, at this point it will be called the effort point, and the force which we are applying to lift the box up, this force will be called the effort, E. So we are exerting a force or effort on the rod. So this time this rod is acting as a lever. Okay. There are many other examples like lemon crusher or lemon juicer at your home, or nutcracker. So this lemon juicer, it is having a simple, if I try to plot a simplest figure of a lemon juicer, so it is having some kind of this shape, a simple fulcrum point about which it can rotate. This is the hard part, and the lemon placement part, it looks like this. And it is having holes. If we try to draw cross section view, it is having holes. simply place a lemon here, and when we compress it, so it can juice the lemon. So basically, this is the point about which these two arms can rotate. So this is the fulcrum point. You are putting a load here, so we call it the load point, and you are applying efforts here, so we call it effort point. So it is also a kind of a lever. So basically, a lever is having 3 points majorly: fulcrum point, effort point, and the load point. So I hope the definition of lever is very clear for you. Now let's talk about the classes of lever, and I will tell you the simplest trick to classify the levers. Now let's try to classify the levers. Levers can be classified into 3 classes: class first lever, class second lever, and class third lever. It is simply divided in terms of the positions or the locations of fulcrum, effort point, and the load point. For an example, if we talk about class first lever, for the class first lever, fulcrum point must lie between the load point and the effort point always. Means not exactly between. It must lie between we can say at any point which is lying between the load point and the effort point. So we can change the position of fulcrum here. For an example, we are talking about a simple lifting rod, or we can take an example of crowbar. So in that particular example, you can see the fulcrum is lying between the load point and the effort point. Another example is seesaw. We have discussed it already. That in the seesaw case, the fulcrum was lying between the effort point and the load point. One more thing is there. If we talk about the mechanical advantage formula, the another formula for mechanical advantage, we have discussed it already. The another formula for mechanical advantage is effort arm upon load arm. Okay. So if we go for this, in this case, load arm is smaller than effort arm, but we, according to the definition, we can change the location of fulcrum, but it must remain between the load and effort point. So if I shift this fulcrum point here, so you can see this time effort arm will become smaller than the load arm, because all distance will be measured from fulcrum. So you can see effort arm could be greater than load arm, or effort arm could be smaller than load arm. So the value of mechanical advantage as well as value of velocity ratio, as we are talking about 100% efficient machine. So the value of mechanical advantage or value of velocity ratio, it could be greater than 1, it could be lesser than 1, or it is equal to 1. Right? So in class first lever, it is not fixed that mechanical advantage or velocity ratio it must be greater than 1 or less than 1. It could be anything or any value, because we can shift the position of fulcrum, or it is totally dependent on the device of class first. Okay. Now let's move to class second. In class second lever, load must lie between the effort point and the fulcrum point. For an example, nut cracker or lemon crusher, lemon juicer we have discussed. So in that case, load that is not here. So it is lying between the fulcrum point and the effort point, and you can clearly see that if the load is lying between the fulcrum and effort point, so ultimately the load arm will be lesser than the effort arm. Clearly for this class second levers. So load arm is lesser than the effort arm, and if load arm means denominator is lesser than the numerator, so answer will be greater than 1. So the mechanical advantage and velocity ratio will be greater than 1 always for class second levers particularly. And if it is greater than 1, so we are talking about totally the force multiplier devices. So class second levers are simply called the force multipliers. Okay. Now let's talk about class third levers. Class third levers, in this class, the effort must lie between the force point and the load point. You can represent by LEF or FEL. So effort is lying between the load and the fulcrum. For an example, fire tongue. With the help of fire tongue, you simply pick up the coal pieces or chapatis, simply we can say. So in that case, load, that coal piece of chapati is lying on the other end, and this end is acting as a fulcrum, and you are applying efforts between the load and the fulcrum. So ultimately, effort arm will become lesser than the load arm, and if load arm is greater than effort arm, means denominator is greater than numerator. So mechanical advantage or velocity ratio, it must be lesser than 1. Okay. So this is the category of class third lever. And one more thing, since mechanical advantage is lesser than 1, velocity ratio is lesser than 1, you can see just that the load arm is traveling more distance compared to effort arm. So it is a velocity multiplier or the speed multiplier. So this category is called speed multiplier or velocity multiplier. So I hope this classification is very clear for you. And now let me tell you all types of levers, whatever we are talking about, class first levers, class second levers, class third. So ultimately they are following the simplest principle of moments, means about a point in equilibrium condition. The load is trying to rotate it. If we say this is the load, this is the fulcrum, this is the effort. So this is the load arm, effort arm. We have discussed in the previous chapter the condition of equilibrium. So in the rotation equilibrium, total left side torque or right side torque, they must be equal, right? Or clockwise and anti-clockwise you can say. So in this case we can write in equilibrium load into load arm, load into load arm, it must be equal to effort into effort arm. And if you are unaware from this formula, you can derive this formula from this expression in the equilibrium. If we go for load upon effort from this expression, load upon effort by sending effort here and load there, so you can get effort arm upon load arm simply. Means load upon effort equals to effort arm upon load arm, and load upon effort is mechanical advantage. So mechanical advantage equals to effort arm upon load arm, right? So basically we are going to use this expression, this principle to solve the numeric problems related to the lever section. Okay, so let's try to solve a few questions related to this section. Now let's take an example of a crowbar with the help of which we are trying to lift this box up by placing a rod or a crowbar. We can use in a crowbar, its shape is actually its own shape acts as a fulcrum point. This point will act as a fulcrum and this point will as a load point, and here we can apply effort. Okay, in this rod we have to place a brick or some kind of rigid body to act as a fulcrum point, right? So we have placed a brick, and you will see that why do we place brick closer to load point, not closer to effort point? You will see it. So fulcrum, let's call this load point L, and we are applying effort here on this point E. And let's assume the length of the road is about 2 meter, and the fulcrum or the brick has been placed about 0.5 meters. 0.5 meters. So this length or the remaining length would be 1.5 meter. And we want to just lift this 100 kg load or 100 kg of load. Mass is 100 kg, so weight would be 100 kg. So let's say load L is 100 kg. The question is how much effort is required to lift this load up. Okay, and effort E we need to find out, and the length, load arm length is, let's say LA is 0.5 meter and effort arm length is, let's say 1.5 meter. Now let's try to calculate according to principle of moments. Total right side torque equivalent to left side torque or moment. So we can say load into load arm, it must be equivalent to effort into effort arm. Let's put the values to find out the effort. So load is 100 kg, so we can simply we are putting 100 into load arm. Load arm is 0.5 equals to effort, we need to find out E into effort arm, that is 1.5, right? Or we can get effort E equals to 100 into 0.5 upon 1.5, or we can get effort equals to, you can simply shift the point and 3, and by dividing by 3 we will get 33.3 kgf. Means just by placing 33 kg of weight or mass we can lift this up. Means we are requiring lesser efforts as compared to load. Now let's make it a little bit trickier. If we shift this fulcrum, the fulcrum point closer to effort, means in this scenario you will see one load L. Now it is supposed to be 1.5 and it is supposed to be 0.5. We have shifted in this way. So if you try to solve this, only these two values will get changed. It will become 1.5, it will become 0.5. So in that particular case, we can say effort equals to 100 into 1.5 upon 0.5 or 100 into 3, or you will get 300 kgf. You can see if we shift the fulcrum closer to effort arm, so we need to apply 3 times heavier load or effort as compared to the load to lift this up. That's why we always place fulcrum or that brake closer to load point, not closer to effort point. So you can see this is a class first lever. In both cases fulcrum is lying between the L and E. So it is these two examples are of class first, but in this case we are in mechanical advantage because we are applying lesser efforts to lift greater load. We are in mechanical advantage, means mechanical advantage in this case is greater than 1. You can see mechanical advantage is we can say load upon effort, and we have calculated it on load arm upon effort arm, it would be 3. So here it is greater than 1. But in this particular case, if we try to find out mechanical advantage load upon effort, so load is 100 while effort is 300. It is 1 upon 3, which is less than 1. So that's why I have told you that in class first levers mechanical advantage could be 1 less than 1 or it could be greater than 1. If you place fulcrum exactly between, this means at 1 meter gap. So ultimately you have to apply the 100 kgf of effort to lift this up. So in that case mechanical advantage would be 1. So I hope this example is very clear for you. Let's take another example. We know about the wheelbarrow very well. So you have to follow only and only the principle of moments to solve the numeric problems related to this lever based question. So in wheelbarrow, it's some kind of a dumper, means through which we can dump the waste. This type of, I'm not exactly plotting it. It should look like this, right? The stand and the dumping box and the handle. Okay, so basically load is lying here. We are applying effort to lift it up, and we have to apply effort in upward direction, and this is the fulcrum. You can see it is load is trying to rotate it the clockwise direction and the effort is trying to rotate it anti-clockwise direction. Simply it will follow the principle of moments in equilibrium condition. So that is the distance from fulcrum to the load, it is load arm. The distance from fulcrum to effort, it is effort arm. So suppose this wheelbarrow is having a load of 30 kgf. So the question is again, how much effort is needed to be applied to lift this up? So simply if you are having the value of effort arm, you are having the value of load arm, load you are having effort, it is asked here. So according to principle of moments, load into load arm is equivalent to effort into effort arm. Or it is possible that in a question you are getting all of these values except the length, that at which point we need to apply effort to get or to lift this load. Suppose in this question you are having effort value as 10 kgf. And the question is, where do we need to apply this effort? Means the question is to find out about the value of effort arm. So you can find it out with the help of this formula. So I hope you will be able to solve the numeric problems related to this, and please mark those questions which are we can say you find yourself unable to solve those numeric problems. We will discuss those problems in the next lecture. Okay.